English Daily 15 Minutes.
Hello everyone! Welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, my name is Sarah, and I am so happy to share this time with you today. We always love reading your comments, and we are glad you are joining us for another episode.
Hi everyone, and I am John. It is great to be here with Sarah and all of our wonderful listeners. We hope you are having an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and that your week has been smoother than ours.
Today, John and I want to talk about something that I think everyone can understand. We want to talk about how we feel after a very long, busy, and stressful week. You know, those weeks where you have 1,000 things to do, your phone never stops ringing, and by Friday night, you just cannot move.
Exactly, Sarah. I think everyone has those days, right? Actually, my week was exactly like that. I had so many meetings at work, a lot of emails to answer, and very little time to sit down and just breathe. Right now, I can honestly say I am completely exhausted. I feel like my battery is at 1%.
Oh, I believe you, John. You look like you need a very long break. When you feel that exhausted, your whole body tells you to stop. You know, your eyes feel heavy, your legs feel heavy, and even thinking about what to eat for dinner feels like a massive chore. When you get to that point of being completely exhausted, what is the very first thing you think about doing?
Well, the honest answer is that I just want to catch up on sleep. During the week, I usually wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I do not go to bed until midnight because I have so much work to finish. That is not healthy, right? So, when the weekend finally arrives, my main goal is to sleep for 8 or 9 hours without any alarm clock shaking me awake. I need that time to catch up on sleep and feel human again.
That is so true. Sleeping is the best way to recharge our bodies. If we do not sleep enough, our brains cannot work properly the next day. Actually, scientists say that sleep cleans our brains from all the stress of the day. I also feel like I need to recharge my energy, but for me, it is not just about sleeping. I also need to recharge my mind by doing things that make me happy, like reading a good book, walking in nature, or listening to quiet music.
I agree. Recharging is different for everyone, right? Some people want to go out, go to clubs, and see a big group of friends to feel better, but for me, I just need to chill out at home. If I go to a crowded place when I am already tired, it drains my energy even more. Do you like to chill out alone, Sarah? Or do you prefer to be around people when you are tired?
Actually, I really love to chill out alone when I am tired. I love my friends, of course, but after a busy week of talking to people, answering phone calls, and dealing with customer problems, my favorite plan is to sit on my sofa, put on my favorite pajamas, drink a cup of warm tea, and just chill out. We all need some downtime, don't we?
Oh, definitely. Downtime is so important for our mental health. Without downtime, we just keep working and working like robots until we cannot do it anymore. I notice that if I do not give myself at least a few hours of downtime on Saturday, I start the next week feeling already tired. It is like a circle that never stops and you feel trapped.
Exactly, John. And you know, sometimes during that downtime, it is nice to treat yourself to something special. It does not have to be something expensive or fancy. For example, last night I decided to treat myself, to my favorite chocolate cake from the bakery near my house. It was a small thing, but it made me feel so much better after a hard day.
That sounds amazing, Sarah. I think it is necessary to treat yourself sometimes because if you don't reward yourself, work feels meaningless. For me, treating myself means ordering a nice dinner from a local Italian restaurant so I do not have to cook or wash the dishes. It is the perfect way to spend a low-key weekend.
Yes, a low-key weekend is exactly what I need right now. I do not want to go to any big parties, loud concerts, or noisy events. A low-key evening with a good movie and a warm blanket is much better than going to a crowded place where you have to dress up and make small talk. When life is moving too fast, a low-key plan is a true gift.
I couldn't agree more, Sarah. If I try to do too many things on the weekend, like traveling or meeting 20 different people, I feel like I am going towards a complete burnout. Have you ever experienced a burnout, Sarah? It is a terrible feeling when you have absolutely no emotional or physical energy left in your body.
Yes, John, I actually have. A few years ago, I worked 2 jobs and studied for my exams at the same time. I did not take any rest, I did not sleep enough, and I never had any low-key days. One day, my body just stopped working. I couldn't get out of bed, I felt a deep burnout, and it took me weeks of resting to feel normal again. That is why we must listen to our bodies before we reach that dangerous level of burnout.
That sounds really difficult, Sarah. I am glad you are wiser now and take better care of yourself. Sometimes when I feel like a burnout is coming, I need to talk to a close friend and just spill my heart. It helps to talk about all the stress, the fears, and the pressure. Yesterday I called my brother, and I just had to spill my heart to him about how difficult my manager has been lately.
It is very healthy to spill my heart, or your heart, to someone you trust, John. Keeping all those negative feelings inside is not good for your heart or your brain. When we hide our stress, it makes us feel completely overwhelmed. There were moments this week when I looked at my to-do list and felt so overwhelmed that I wanted to cry because I didn't know where to start.
I know that feeling of being overwhelmed very well, Sarah. You look at your desk, you see 20 different papers, your phone is ringing, people are asking you questions, and you feel like you are underwater and cannot breathe. When you are that overwhelmed, it is hard to think clearly or make good decisions, right?
Exactly. You feel frozen. And that is when we need to stop, take a deep breath, and try to be more mindful. Being mindful means focusing on the present moment, rather than worrying about the future or feeling anxious about the past. When I feel overwhelmed, I try to spend 5 minutes being mindful of my breathing. I just listen to the sound of my breath, and it helps me calm my racing mind.
That is a great practice, Sarah. Being mindful is something I am trying to learn too. It helps you understand that you cannot control everything in life, and that is okay. We always try to be so productive every single hour of the day. Society tells us that if we are not working, we are wasting time and losing the race. But being productive also means knowing when to stop and rest.
You are so right, John. Being productive is not just about making more things, writing more reports, or working longer hours. If you are exhausted, you cannot be truly productive anyway. Your work will have mistakes, you will lose your focus, and you will spend twice as much time doing a simple task. So, resting is actually a part of being a productive person.
That makes total sense. When I am too tired, I notice that I become very anxious. I start to worry about small things that do not really matter in the long run. I get anxious about whether I answered an email correctly or if I forgot to do something small at the office. This anxious feeling usually goes away after I get some good rest and catch up on sleep.
I understand, John. Anxious thoughts love a tired brain. When our bodies are tired, our minds feel unsafe, and that creates that anxious feeling. That is why the weekend is a perfect time to reflect on our lives and our habits. We need to reflect on what is working, what is making us unhappy, and what we need to change.
Yes, the weekend gives us the space to reflect. During the week, we are too busy doing things to actually reflect on why we are doing them. We are just running on a treadmill. This weekend, I want to reflect on how I can manage my time better next week so I do not feel this exhausted again. I want to create better boundaries at work.
That is a beautiful goal, John. Setting boundaries is hard, but it is necessary. I hope this conversation helps our listeners reflect on their own weeks too. We often forget that we are humans, not machines. Remember, it is okay to feel exhausted, and it is okay to take a break. You do not have to be productive all the time to be valuable. Treat yourself, enjoy your downtime, and keep your plans low-key if that is what you need to avoid burnout.
Well said, Sarah. Thank you everyone for listening to us today. It was wonderful to spill my heart a little bit and talk about these important things with you all. Talking to you always makes me feel less anxious about my heavy workload.
It helps me too, John. When we share our experiences, we realize that we are not alone in feeling overwhelmed. Everyone is trying their best to navigate this fast world.
Exactly. Sometimes just knowing that other people also struggle to catch up on sleep makes you feel more normal. It is part of the human experience, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I think we should also think about how we spend our mornings during the weekend. A lot of people wake up and immediately check their emails or social media. That instantly makes them feel anxious before the day even begins.
Oh, I am definitely guilty of that, Sarah. The first thing my hand does in the morning is reach for my phone. I look at the news, I look at work messages, and suddenly my brain is full of stress. I am not being mindful at all.
Exactly. That is why I try to have a no-phone rule for the first hour of my Saturday. I want to protect my downtime. I want to look out the window, see the sun, and enjoy my coffee without any digital noise. It changes the whole energy of the day.
That sounds like a habit I need to adopt. It is a simple way to treat yourself to some peace. If you start the day calmly, you can handle any situation better later on.
Yes, exactly. It gives you a strong foundation. Then, if something unexpected happens, you don't feel completely overwhelmed by it. You have the mental strength to deal with it calmly.
It also helps you appreciate the small moments, like you can actually taste your breakfast or enjoy the conversation with your family. You are fully there, not thinking about your next project.
Right. That is the core of being mindful. It is about being fully present in the now. We spend so much time planning for the next month or the next year that we miss the beautiful moments happening right in front of us.
I agree. I realize that when I am always trying to be productive, I don't enjoy the journey. I am only looking at the finish line, but the finish line keeps moving. Once you finish one project, there is always another one waiting for you.
Yes, that is the trap of the modern world. There is no end to work. That is why the decision to stop must come from you. The work will never say, "Okay, you have done enough, go rest now." You have to say it to yourself.
That is a powerful thought, Sarah. We have to be our own managers when it comes to rest. We have to protect our health because if we get a burnout, the company will just replace us. But our bodies cannot be replaced.
Exactly. It sounds harsh, but it is the reality. Your health is your truest wealth. So taking time to chill out is not a luxury. It is a necessity for survival.
I am going to remember that this weekend. Every time I feel guilty for lying on the couch, I will remind myself that I am preventing burnout and protecting my health.
Good. And you should also remind yourself that you are allowing your creativity to return. When the mind rests, new and exciting ideas usually appear. You cannot create anything beautiful when your brain is completely exhausted.
That is actually true. My best ideas never come to me when I'm staring at a computer screen for 10 hours. They usually come when I'm taking a shower, walking, or just having some quiet downtime.
Exactly. The brain needs space to connect the dots. So, by resting, you are actually helping yourself become more creative and productive in the future. It is a win-win situation.
This conversation has been so helpful, Sarah. I already feel less anxious and more relaxed just talking about it. It is like a weight has been lifted from my shoulders.
I am so happy to hear that, John. That is the power of connection and communication. When we spill our hearts, we let go of the heavy energy.
Yes, we do. And I hope our listeners are feeling the same way right now. I hope they are finding comfort in our words and planning their own low-key weekends.
Me too. We want our channel to be a safe space where people can come to relax, learn, and feel understood. Life is tough enough, so let's support each other. But you know, John, our listeners are also here to improve their English vocabulary. So, how about we move on to the word learning section now?
That is a fantastic idea, Sarah. Let's do it. We have 14 great words and expressions today. What is our first word?
Perfect. Our first word is exhausted. John, how can you describe this word with a simple definition?
Exhausted means very, very tired. It means you have absolutely no energy left.
Great. Can you give us a short example sentence with it?
Of course. After working for 12 hours, I was completely exhausted.
Exactly. Now let's move on to our second word, catch up on sleep. What does this one mean?
Catch up on sleep means to sleep extra hours because you did not sleep enough before.
That's a very clear explanation. Let's hear an example sentence.
Here it is. I will stay in bed until noon on Saturday to catch up on sleep.
Perfect. Now let's look at the third word on our list, recharge. How do we define it simply?
Recharge means to get your energy back by resting or doing things you enjoy.
Beautiful. And what is a short example for our listeners?
A quiet weekend in nature helped me recharge my battery.
Exactly. Let's move on to the fourth word, chill out. What is the simple meaning, John?
Chill out just means to relax and take it easy.
I love that word. Can you give us a quick example sentence?
We decided to stay home and chill out with a good movie.
Perfect. Our fifth word is downtime. What does this mean in a simple way?
Downtime is the free time when you do not have to work or study. It is your rest time.
Very nice. Let's hear a short example sentence.
I need some downtime after this long presentation.
Actually, that is a very useful sentence. Let's go to our sixth word, treat yourself. What is the definition?
Treat yourself means to do or buy something special for yourself to feel happy.
Exactly. Can you give us an example?
You worked hard this week, so go ahead and treat yourself to a nice dinner.
I will definitely do that. Now let's look at the seventh word, low-key. How do we explain this simply?
Low-key means quiet, simple, and not crowded or loud.
Perfect. And a short example sentence for our listeners?
We are having a low-key birthday party with just a few close friends.
That sounds lovely. Now let's move to our 8th word, which is very important, burnout. What is the simple definition?
Burnout is a state of total emotional and physical tiredness caused by too much work or stress.
Right? Can you share a short example sentence with us?
If you don't take a break, you will face severe burnout.
That is a very true warning. Let's move on to the 9th phrase on the list. Spill my heart. What does this one mean?
Spill my heart means to share your deepest feelings and secrets with someone you trust.
Beautifully explained. What is a short example sentence for it?
I called my best friend last night to spill my heart about my problems.
It always helps to talk. Now let's look at our 10th word, overwhelmed. How can we describe it simply?
Overwhelmed means feeling like you have too much to handle and you cannot cope with it.
Exactly. Can you give us a quick example?
She felt completely overwhelmed by the large amount of work.
I think we all know that feeling. Let's move to the 11th word, mindful. What is the simple definition, John?
Mindful means being fully aware of the present moment and paying attention to your thoughts and feelings calmly.
Very clear. Let's hear a short example sentence.
Try to be mindful of your breathing when you feel stressed.
Great advice. Now let's go to our 12th word, productive. What does it mean?
Productive means doing a lot of useful work or achieving good results in a short time.
Perfect. Can you give us a short example?
I had a very productive morning and finished all my reports.
Wonderful. We only have 2 words left. Our 13th word is anxious. What is the simple meaning?
Anxious means feeling worried, nervous, or afraid about something that might happen.
Yes, unfortunately. What is a short example sentence?
He felt anxious about speaking in front of the large crowd.
And finally, let's move to our 14th word, reflect. How do we explain this one simply?
Reflect means to think deeply and carefully about something, like your life or your experiences.
Perfect definition to finish our list. Can you give us the final example sentence?
At the end of the year, it is good to reflect on your achievements.
Brilliant. That is all 14 words. You did an amazing job explaining them simply, John.
Thank you, Sarah. I hope our listeners found this section useful and can use these words in their daily English conversations. Take care of yourselves, everyone.
Yes, take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone, and see you in the next episode.
Goodbye. Have a peaceful and wonderful week, everyone. See you soon.